everybody, it's your good buddy 650 Eve here, and welcome to another episode of the New Bike Build Series. And this is where we take a 2018 BMW S1000RR that I purchased from my good friends at Sills BMW here. We add a lot of beautiful custom parts to it, turning it into a bike that I'd be proud to ride on the streets, and then we make it available to everyone viewing this video. So Zach, tell us a little bit about what we're going to be doing today.
Alright, so we are going to relocate the air intake temperature sensor on this bike from in the middle here, right at the airbox underneath the gas tank, and we're going to move it up front into the nose of the bike.
Okay.
That way it gets an accurate reading of what the intake air temperature is.
Okay.
So this is where all your intake air flows in through.
Mm-hmm.
And right now it flows in through there, goes through the frame, makes its way into an airbox, and then in the airbox it takes a reading for what the temperature is.
Okay.
Which is fine when the bike's cold, hasn't been running, and it's not that hot outside. But when it is hot outside and you've been running the bike, the temperatures inside here can get really high, and it kind of it has that temp sensor winds up giving an inaccurate reading.
Okay.
But they do that on purpose. It's a little built-in safety. So it might think the outside air temperature is 120 degrees, let's say, but it's really 80.
Yeah.
So because it thinks it's so hot, it's going to detune the ignition time and a couple other parameters a little bit just to keep the engine from overheating, having any issues. So it's kind of a backup safety. But by moving it out front, it's going to read that true 80 and stay with the best ignition timing, best fuel mapping for performance and power at 80. So it just kind of keeps your power level and flat.
Oh wow.
And I guess they've done enough testing, Brand Tuning's done enough testing that it's safe.
Okay.
And doesn't cause, under normal use, doesn't cause any issues.
Oh sweet.
So that's what we're going to do today. Pretty much got to start by removing the seat, and then we're going to pull all the covers. You can do it with the gas tank on, but I think it's a pain, so I'm going to pull the gas tank off. It's only 3 bolts.
Okay.
We got to pull the windshield off, instrument cluster off, and drill a hole.
Okay.
And what you get from Brand Tuning when you get the kit is just this little wire. It's not very anything too exciting looking, but two important pieces. This is a plug that's going to go where the old sensor, when we pull the sensor out, we got to put this in there.
Okay.
We got to bend these little tabs.
Okay.
Get our Brand Tuning card. And then this is what you're really paying for, is the wire, a nice wire loom with the 2 factory ends, so it's plug and play.
Sure.
Once we zip tie this with the other wires, you can't ever tell that it's even been installed.
First step, take the seat off, huh?
Yep. Gotta get those 2 kind of hidden bolts out of there. Pull that off, put it off to the side here.
Okay.
Then next we'll take the top airbox cover and these side pieces off.
Okay.
There's not that many screws here. There are. While you're pulling this apart, again, all the different length collars. This one's long because it goes through 2 pieces of plastic.
Okay.
This one here, I believe, is long because it goes through 2 pieces of plastic too.
Yep.
This one's going to be short or no collar, depending on what they felt like that day. Looks like short collar.
Okay.
Cool. And then I believe we'll have one more short collar.
Now what we didn't show is you performed the first service on this bike, huh?
Earlier this morning I did perform the first service. I was going to say that. Yeah, we got a short collar.
Okay.
And since I had to, if you remember from the first video, or if you're a new patron, you might not, we got to readjust the steering head bearing. So since I had the triple tree off, I went ahead and put our red
oh yeah, nice. Nice. Awesome,
got
Zach.
a little more bling added on.
How did the oil look from the first service?
It looked really clean, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing much on the magnet.
Yep.
And we're right at the right amount of miles for breaking in. So
Yeah, I enjoyed breaking the bike in Alabama, riding with my good buddies down there. The weather was great. The roads are fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds like the roads were great. I can't wait to see the video. So then once you get the fasteners out, there's a little tit here that holds into this rubber grommet. So you just pull that off, and then you slide forward.
Okay.
And that gets the side piece off. And it is the exact same on the other side.
All right, we won't bore them with that on the other side. We'll be right back.
So this leaves us with 1 bolt left in the airbox cover here. It's a long one. Once you get that off, this just lifts up out of the way and exposes the DME, what they call it, engine electronics.
Cool.
And we're also going to have to move that out of the way. That's just held down with one screw though. We'll take that out now. It's another long one, and it'll have a washer. Make sure you don't lose the washer. And it's not pointy, that's how you can tell the difference between the two. So that loosens that up. And then, you can't really see it yet. I was just looking to see. So we'll just finish removing the gas tank. For that, we'll get a different size Torx bit.
Okay.
Move up from the 25 to the 30. And loosen the two on the sides. Then get a 10mm socket, one of the standard socket bolts on this bike.
Okay.
Pull this one all the way out.
So I've read through the comments, and people really appreciate all of the work you're doing with these bikes and showing it in great detail like we're doing.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it is kind of different. Mm-hmm. I wasn't feeling too good earlier in the week, so I was sitting around watching TV. And I was watching a bunch of the build shows on Velocity and stuff, and yeah, they don't show anything.
They don't?
No, it's lots of planning and pre-planning, and then they say we're going to do this, and then it's done.
Wow.
And it looks super easy.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go build a car now.
Right. Right. Based
I'll have
off
it
that.
done in a half hour, don't
Yeah.
worry. Now we got to do these two vent hoses.
Okay.
These things could be a pain in the butt. They like to stick. These pliers are specifically made for removing hoses. See how they have this round shape to them?
Yes.
So it clips around the hose. You got to kind of get around it and wiggle. Without these pliers, I can't even recommend a good way to do this.
Wow.
Because they just get so stuck. See, even with the pliers, it's paid.
Yeah.
There we go. Because if you get behind it, you risk scratching the gas tank.
Right.
So you definitely... All right.
Okay, now what are these hoses controlling here?
So a gas tank needs to be able to breathe because the gas doesn't really change in volume at all, but it has atmospheric pressures acting on it always.
Sure.
So it needs to be able to vent out. So these hoses vent the gas out, but with emissions today, you can't just vent the gas out straight to atmosphere. Otherwise, we could just ditch these hoses and just have these two vents.
Sure.
And it'd be fine. The one hose is an overflow rain for if water gets in here. Underneath your gas cap, there's a little hole. Right here. These little holes.
Yep.
It'll let that water come out, and that hose makes it all the way to the ground.
Oh, wow.
That way it just pops out there.
Okay.
The other one is that vent that I was just talking about, and that goes into what's called the charcoal canister.
Yeah.
The charcoal canister takes all those fumes that would otherwise go up into the atmosphere, holds them for a minute, routes it through charcoal, and then they wind up routed back into the airbox and get burnt. It purges it. There's a little valve called the purge valve that clicks at idle. That's what you hear clicking sometimes.
Yeah.
The bike's idling. That's how it gets rid of the tank venting.
Wow.
And keeps your garage from smelling like gas.
Amazing. Oh, he's back. Mr. Dinosaur. My kid's favorite. Oh, yeah, he's talking today. Wow, he speaks. He's growling. Every build series, he's going to be a different animated beast. Yeah.
We got to keep everyone on their toes.
Right.
So once you get the tank up, your fuel lines and all your electrical connections are what's left. Fuel line's a quick connect. You just push on this button and it pops right out. These are just for our fuel pump and fuel level sensor. And once all that's off, we are free and clear. So we have now made it to the actual air intake temperature sensor, which is right here.
Okay.
This is the plug for it. To get it disconnected, you push on this piece of wire right here, and then it's going to lift up, spring loaded.
Okay.
Also looks very familiar to what's on the one that we get from Bren Tuning.
Yes.
Again, this is what you're paying for. This stuff's hard to find. They found a source for it. They put this all together.
Wow.
Oh, it is. It's real nice. You could do this by cutting the wires and lengthening them, but this is nice. It keeps it factory looking, you know?
Yep.
The sensor itself is removed. It has a little push tab on it. I find it easiest to grab a screwdriver, push on there, and then you can grab it with your 2 fingers. Oh, must not have got it pushed off. There we go. And it comes out.
Okay.
So this is what I was pushing on with the screwdriver. That is what holds it in there.
Gotcha.
So this is what takes the little temperature reading, and then it converts it into electrical voltage, which this interprets and tells everything what to do.
Yep.
So we're going to take this from back here, where I had this running a while ago for the first service. I mean, you've been here for what, a half hour? Feel how warm it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, compared to ambient air temperature, it's still warm in here.
It is. So that's not very accurate.
Yeah, it winds. But like I said, they did that on purpose, kind of as a backup. So we're going to move this up to the front. So for now, we can put this off to the side. Want to keep it nice and clean. Up next, we'll fill in the hole, because now we have this hole in the box. So what you got to do, they send this little metal piece. If you bend these tabs out just a hair, they come too small. So we make this larger. Sometimes it takes a couple tries.
Okay.
But we'll try to get it in one. Don't want to go out too far because then it won't fit.
Right.
Alright. So once we get that, I found that this piece is magnetic. So you can take your shop magnet, stick it on there, and then we can go down in here. That sounded pretty good.
It did. Nice thunk there.
And since it's magnetic, we know that it's stuck in there because it didn't stick to my magnet.
Nice.
Oh,
there it is.
Stuck a little bit.
Okay.
Shouldn't have went for the second try.
Yeah.
Well, let's flex them out just a little more. But it made a good sound on the way in.
This is brilliant how you come up with all of this is done through trial and error and just from doing it.
Yeah, kind of. Bren has some vague instructions for this if you ask him. Or maybe you get them. I don't know. I never get the normal packaging, I feel like, because I'm always dealing through somebody else, you know? Oh, let's try this again. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Well, I'm happy with that. So we got our windscreen off. And now the next part, this is probably the trickiest part of the whole thing, is getting this clip off of the instrument cluster here, if you see it. You get this little window for access, so we got to pull this clip out of here. We want to try not to drop it or send it flying anywhere. A couple different ways you can go at it. This plastic is pretty tough. You probably could come in with the screwdriver, pry up, but I don't ever feel like I have good control with that. You can do that and have a magnet close by.
Yeah.
I always have pretty good luck just with a pair of needle nose pliers. Grab it. Pop it out. And
oh, wow, there it is.
Once that's out, we can push forward. This just has 3 rubber grommets holding it. And 2 wire connectors that have to get released. Both of them to release just have a push button in the middle. You push on the tab and pull.
Okay.
When you release the connector, you want to push on the tab, you want to pull on the connector. Try not to pull on the wires.
Okay.
As much as possible. And then you can move your combi or instrument cluster to a safe place.
Okay.
Such as a pile of rags.
Yes.
And now we are to the point where we got to drill a hole. So we move this wire out of the way. And we're going to put the intake air temp sensor right about here is where they found the best spot is.
Okay.
And it stays out of the way, and you can still install everything that you need to. So I'm going to go ahead and put make sure this looks the same. Yeah, it looks the same. It's like almost in the corner. Center pinch there. Start with a small hole, and we make our way up to a size I can never remember. So what I do is take the handy digital calipers and measure this. And without the O-ring, it's about 13 millimeters. With it, it's about 13.7. So I'm going to start with a 13 millimeter hole. And of course, here in America, we don't really have metric drill bits.
Yeah.
So then you can just take your drill bit and measure it. And 12.6 is the biggest one. I'm pretty sure that's what I usually use. It's just the biggest drill bit. And then wallow it out a little bit and it winds up. Because it's just going to be pressure fitting this in here. It just kind of pops in.
Okay.
Pumpkin line 4, pumpkin line 4.
Alright. Yeah. Wound up right where we want it.
Okay. Now you have to take the bigger drill?
Yeah, we'll go up, we'll go to an intermediate size.
Okay.
You want to keep the drill bit as long as possible in your drill because you don't have lots of room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, got the clutch on. It jumped up a little bit too much. Yep, let me go down a size.
Okay.
Let's try to jump around. This would be easy if you could use one of the step drill bits, but there's not enough room to fit one in there, unfortunately.
Okay.
That was no problem. Luckily, it doesn't really matter how straight your hole is. If it's in an exact spot, you just don't want to hit anything around it.
Okay.
Because no one's ever going to see it. All right. That should be pretty good.
Okay. I see the hole.
You see the hole?
Yep.
All right, let's see if it fits.
Okay.
Yeah, it fits good.
Perfect.
The O-ring's holding it in there. I can't pull it right out. I'm happy with it.
Nice.
Cool. So we'll just clean up all our drill shavings. Hopefully most of them come out with the rag here.
Okay.
If not, we got the handy air-powered vacuum. I don't know if we brought this guy out yet, have we?
I don't think so.
Cool one, yeah.
Another one of your
Quick
cool
little-
tools.
Alright, looks good. Finish it off with some shop air right through the hole. Alright, that should be good. So we can go ahead and, yeah, I think this guy, it's easy enough to plug in. We'll put him right in place. There. And the instrument cluster also holds it in, so it's not
Fantastic.
too tight.
I see.
So that's all I do there. And then Now we just have to route the wire from point A to point B. Yeah, you could probably just go straight from here and wrap underneath. It works out best if we pull the air cleaner out.
Okay.
This is also be a great time to change your air cleaner.
I forgot it at home.
But unfortunately we don't have it with us. So we're going to pull the air cleaner out and we'll route the wire down to, if you come over here, there's a big group of wires.
Yeah.
We're going to stick it in with this group of wires, route it up, pull these 2 screws out, get the wire in behind there, and plug it on.
Nice.
So with those screws out, it gives this headlight bucket here just a little bit of flex, so we'll be able to get the wire in behind.
Sure.
A lot of times I don't get it behind the second one, but it's totally fine. I'll show you once we get there. We got to get, I'm going to unplug this so we can flip this back out of the way. Take this, and this would be known, this plug will fit into here. So we plug that in there. So we're going to route all this down. Oh, I like to remove this one bolt here too so I can fit the wire underneath here.
Okay.
Because the connector doesn't fit very well. Pull it out for a second. That'll be good enough just to fit that wire underneath there.
I see.
Because the hole we're going for is in the frame right here. And it's all the way through.
Nice.
So we'll pull that through there. This is going to all get zip tied up here.
Okay.
This is all going to get zip tied here. We feed this on the inside of the fork leg. Be careful so you don't scratch the fork. Oh, don't wrap it around the clutch lever.
Okay. Yeah.
And then this is where we're going to push on that headlight bucket and feed it behind that mounting spot there. That comes up over there and gets us to our air temp sensor again. Might actually be easier to plug this in with it not installed.
Okay.
It's stuck, so we'll leave it. We'll just plug this in here. Should hear a nice click.
There you go.
Yeah. Now we just got to zip tie everything in place.
And put everything back in order, huh?
Yeah, we'll keep it tight right here because we can deal with any excess wire up here easier.
Okay.
And then put the air filter back in and let's pop our instrument cluster on, make sure everything fits.
If you were to swap out that instrument cluster with the brand new one with the mileage reset,
actually nothing on your bike would work if you just ordered an instrument cluster and plugged it in, because this is considered a control unit. So this talks to this on the CAN bus network, which also talks to the ABS and everything. So if we change just this piece, we have to reprogram it, tell it, hey, you're on this network, this is your address, you're going to get all these messages. Wow. So without that, it just comes on, all the lights come on, and it goes crazy.
Wow.
But during that programming, you can you tell it what the mileage is.
Okay.
And it'll displays it, but everything fits really well here, and I mean it's kind of apart, but as you can see at the moment you can't even tell that we did anything. That's how we want this. That's how we want this modification to look, not so you can't tell that anything's been done.
Outstanding, Zach.
So I'll go ahead, get this zip tied, and bolt a couple pieces on. We'll show the finished product. Just another quick tip: when you're routing the wire to make the install look nice and neat, there's 2 spots that had factory zip ties on them. I already cut them. Those would be where you want to reinstall your zip ties at. So when you cut them, you route it back through the plastic zip tie holder. Which I guess is easier said than done.
Yes.
No. There we go. So you get it through, and this is holding the zip tie now, and then I'll just go ahead and cinch it.
Nice. That's one
right
of them.
there, so we're not adding, because this was a factory zip tie spot, it's not like I'm adding 100 zip ties along it, because that never looks good either.
No.
You just keep adding zip ties. So just another little quick tip there. Alright, so you can see we're about halfway back together, I'd say.
Yeah.
And isn't it amazing how much nicer it looks? It doesn't look like everything's in disarray. We got some zip ties installed along up on the fuel rail here. Our ECU's back in place, the wire comes down, and then if you come look on this side here, you can see how we routed into it with the
Yeah, I see
factory
that.
wires, and you
Yep.
can't even tell. You can't see the intake air temp sensor.
No. If you come around here, you can kind of see it poking out right
you
there.
can see it poking through in the front. That's about it.
Yeah, there it is, all the way back there. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's about the halfway point. We'll get the rest on and show you what it looks all together, and we'll show what the air temp sensor is reading. All right, so we got it all buttoned up. As you can see, you can't even tell that we touched anything.
No.
That's how this job should go. If it looks like something you'd be interested in, the part is available on Bren Tuning's website, and it's on sale right now, actually, for a
Oh, cool.
$100.
Yeah.
And you get all the pieces that we just installed. And hopefully with this video, you feel comfortable doing it. If not, drop it off at your local shop. Probably charge you 2 hours to do it at whatever their rate's at, and that's totally fair.
Okay.
But let's show how it works.
Sure.
So what we can do is turn the bike on, and got the service date set from the first service, so it doesn't
Okay.
need service for a year or 6,000 miles.
Nice.
What we're going to do is just change the screen by pushing this button,
Okay.
and that gets us to a screen that shows our intake air temperature sensor.
Okay.
And then we can see it says 73, and I got my temp gun out. I'm going to go ahead and shoot it right in here. I'm showing like 69.5 degrees.
Okay.
So let's start it up and see if it'll drop down. Yep. So yeah, it's starting to take more readings, and as it takes more readings, it should wind up right at about 70 or so. With that automatic. So it's reading intake air temperature accurately.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And you can bring that screen up while you go down the road and watch it.
Okay.
And like I said, it's not necessarily a performance upgrade, but if you have paid for the tune and you do have an exhaust and you have other modifications done, it'll keep your power level stable all day long, as compared to where if it was reading hotter temperatures, you'd start to lose power.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Outstanding.
So that's why this is done. Well, thanks for watching,
Yep.
and keep pledging. Let's try to get those carbon fiber wheels on here.
Absolutely. We got to reach our goal of 8,000 per episode in order to use the BST carbon fiber wheels. There's still time for that to happen. Let's hope it does.
All right. Hey, thanks again, and catch you up later.
Later, Zach. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the New Bike Build series, where we relocated the intake air temperature sensor on your 2018 S1000RR. You still have a chance to support the New Bike Build series, so go ahead and hit that like button. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking subscribe. New videos are always uploaded to the 650 YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for your support. We'll catch you next time on the New Bike Build series.